Hello and welcome to another tutorial in camera and lens repair. And this time I will dig into this the Leica Macro-Elmar-R and the 1.4 version and the 100mm because, well, it looks okay, yeah. And of course I was into it and the aperture is really fully working as it should. But as I have assembled the lens, I think the lens element, yeah, looks a bit dirty. At least not, not the front really. It's more the two other lens groups inside the lens, which you can see here, some of them on the back. But I really want to dig into and clean them with some lighter fluid and get them back to good shape. Before starting this is super important. If you want to do this, if you want it to be easier to actually assemble the lens again, this will be a big help. So remember to put the sticky tape on, and you put it on the front here, and then take a knife and simply cut between this part here and this part here. So you simply cut it up here, and that's it, and let it sit on the whole process, because when the when the two parts tape are aligned, well, the aperture should align up, and the aperture should be fully open at 4. So remember that. That's just a good advice. Maybe have another idea, I don't know. But let's dig into it. As I have been into the lens before, you could also see the two, at least the first one, where I take apart the lens and dig into it, and the front of all that stuff. So I do not take the front lens. Well, I could do it, yeah, I'll just do it. But yeah, we'll just go ahead. I'll just take off the front, which will be with a 47mm rubber cone. I could also use the more sticky, it depends. Sometimes they are a bit too, not so sticky, but I would use sorry, I would use the rubber cone number 4 for this, and just put it in here, or I could use the 47mm in here. Well, I just do that. Just so you have more options. So out with that. And here we can actually see the aperture fully open, and it works as it should. And also the back here with the spring, which I thought was not working, but it was another. You can see it in the other videos. Yeah. Here there's only some dust in here. The lens element actually looks fine. Maybe there are some dirt on the front part here, but if we look here, there's not really. Maybe there is something. Well, I'll just give it a go, no matter what. Now, it's more interesting to get into the back lens group, because then we need to take it apart. Most of it, not the aperture assembly in here, no, but we'll dig into it from the back. just to mention, remember the tape, super important, before you take apart anything. Now, we'll just take at least 4 screws out, and I will come back to what we do down here, because there is a spring and a steel ball in here. Keep that in mind. I will use a JIS, and it is JIS 2.5 millimeter. It works really good for this. And just unscrew the 4 screws at the moment. It is not that hard to get into it, but it's more we have to be aware of. There are some issues where you can really have problem if you do not set marks and so on. So, well, I could have, you see, there is a plastic tube in here, the light trap, I think it's called. I don't know, I do not have the repair manual for this, so, well, but now I have a much better knowing of this lens. But you see, this plastic is quite brittle when you dig into it, and even if it sits really good out, the plastic is really not that good anymore. Of course, it's an old lens from the end of the 70s, at least this model. But we need to unscrew the 3 screws that hold this light trap tube. And I will do it just with a 2 millimeter flathead screwdriver. And luckily the screws are, made of steel, so I have a magnetic screwdriver. And that's quite handy in this way. They are very short. So we can take the last out. And I can tell it shouldn't take that long. Now, important, set the aperture to 4. Important, because then the pin here from the aperture connection, we can see it here, this pin here have to be all the way over here, and that's why we set the aperture to 4. Remember that, because then it's much easier to actually take it out. So we just have 2 fingers in here, and just to make it at least much easier, you lift up a little here, and you just pull it out. It's just a plastic tube, but the plastic is really it's brittle. Now, then we dig closer into it. I can take the second last screw on the mount out, so, and be aware of, we have to set the distance to around 1.5 millimeter or so would be fine, because then I can unscrew the last screw, and at the same time I hold down to the mount. So, and away with that. Now, lift up the mount a little, like this, and you will end up seeing a steel ball here. It sits under the little spring here, this tiny little hole. So if we have the aperture fully open, as you can see, now this little steel ball, away with that. And since we have it here, I can just grab my notes here, because if you want to know the dimension of the steel ball, aperture steel is 1.5 millimeter, and the spring down here which is quite small, as you can see here, is 1.46 millimeter in diameter and something like 2.8 millimeter long. Keep that in mind. Maybe if you if you lost it, well, you can take it from another lens, I guess. And the mount is just, well, just what it is. So now we can get into it, and we can just take off the aperture ring. The ring can actually sit in 4 different positions, but well, not really, because this stick out here has to, of course, set correct if it's mounted on a Leica R camera. But since this lens will be used on a digital camera, there is no need for this one. But of course, the aperture ring has to sit correct. That's true, yeah. Now, it's held in place by 2 screws here. Well, not held in place, but this is a connection pin here and here for the notches on the aperture ring. So, and we can just take those 2 out. So something like, well, just set it over there. It will go to fully closed aperture. So out with this, and we take the other out too. So luckily they are magnetic. And then I can pull out this. What I found out when I was in it, it will say the 2 screw holes. Oh, that was just another screw. The 2 screw holes here, it will say this screw hole here and this one too. When you try to pull out this aperture connection mechanism, it can be tricky. So maybe we have to set it to something like 1 meter or so, just so we have more room to work with. But the thing is, the thread, when they cut the thread, there might be something, a little fragment on each side that sticks out a little. And when you pull out this part here, it can be a problem, because it can actually scratch. Oh, yeah. Of course, we have to have this pin. You might see it down here. This I don't know what it's called, connection pin, has of course go into here. So you see this pin down there, it has to go onto the correct side. It will say this side. So let's hold on here. It will say it goes onto, can you see it? It will go onto this side here. And also, do not bend this pin. It has to be straight. And it's the same with the other pin in here. You do not want to bend that pin. Really take care of that. I have some issues when I put this back in because it has been bent a little, and it will say it was not straight, and it of course pressed too much on this pin in here, and this pin here was actually quite sticky. So I thought it was something wrong with the bearing in here, but no, it was just the pin that was not fully straight. But now it's fine. So now we can go deeper into it. Before we take it apart, remember the sticky tape. This is quite important. Now, there sits a retaining ring in here. You probably cannot see it. I know it's not that easy. Maybe if we have a look down here, maybe some light can make it easier. Nah. Well, there is a retaining ring. You can probably use a lens tool longer than this one, but it has to have very thin pins that goes down here and here. So I made me a tool, and I like to make those tools because it will not slip and it just go in. It's a 38mm hole saw or circular saw where I made two pins, and it works really good. And I can just show it in action because this hole saw is much longer than used to, like this one. It's quite short, so this one is really good. It doesn't cost really much, and it's good, really good steel. So I can just put it in here, and the pin down here will not be bent or affected or disturbed in a way. So I can just put this in here, and I can find the notch, click into place. Now pull out the lens hood and have a good grip on this part up here. Remember the sticky tape? Yeah, I have said it before, but it is very important. It will make it a lot easier. Then I will use a 17mm wrench to just unscrew it, and it can sit tight. So that's it. Now it's loose, and the point is the front is actually loose, so you can actually move it. So if you do not have to set the tape before you take it apart, you have no clue of how should this sit, and then you have to adjust in here. It will make things so much easier. Just set the tape first. Now unscrew the retaining ring. I don't know if a lens tool, normal lens tool could do this. I'm not sure. So take out the tool, and then we can take off, you see it separates here, and I can just lift out the whole focusing assembly, and here the retaining ring is here. Well, somebody else has been into this lens before me, but you can see it works really good. It fits proper on this plastic light shield, I think it's called, and you can see it's really good. So, away with that. And here we are in the, actually you can see how the aperture assembly works with the spring. I also thought that the spring was quite weak, but it wasn't. So I learned a bit about this, but here you can see it, how it works. And since we are only going into the back here, because you can see behind the aperture plates there is a lens element, and that lens element together with another one, I want to see if I can clean. There can be another lens in here which they are cemented, and it could be that it's well, it depends. Now we need to take off this light shell and take care of this pin. Be sure to not press it or bend it or something like that. Be sure for that. So we need to take off this plastic tube, and to make it easier I can just pop off the lens hood. Of course we need to set it back in again when we assemble it, but more of that. So have a good grip here on the front, and also here or here. Well, you have to have a good grip on it. It will not just flew away or you will break it. So have a good grip here, and just it's a bit soft like that. So I can just push it over there and it should come off. It's not that easy. So off it came. And it could be that it will break in your lens. It depends. But this is all fine. Now, here we are looking into the back lens. The lens assembly is actually only 3 lens elements. So, yeah, not much. But you see, to get into the next lens surface, I need to unscrew this retaining ring that sits here. There's a knot there and another one here. So hopefully you can see there. Well, I could use a lens tool for this, and you see it could work, but I actually prefer those hole saw. This is a 30, I think it's 32 millimeter, which I have filed down. But the thing is, it can fit over here. And in that way, it will make it so much easier to unscrew. Have a good grip on it. So. And another thing is important here, which I just forgot. We need to set some marks in here. Since we probably will have to move the lens a bit. It was not the case here, but the retaining ring in here will or could be, we can just see if it will happen. I have set, because I've been into the lens before, I set a mark here, and I also actually set a mark down here, which you cannot really see. I can just refresh it here, and I can also refresh this here. So that's important, because the lens element has to sit in the correct position before you unscrew it. But since it's quite sticky, tight, it shouldn't be a problem. But then I can use my lens tool again and unscrew it, and in that way unscrew the retaining ring. So out with this. And now you can see the lens element actually sit where it is. So I can take this out, but remember, there is another lens element under this. So we'll have a look. So one have to wiggle it a little. Sits pretty tight in here. Maybe we can do something. I think we can. I mean, the rubber cones is really a good tool in many cases. So I think maybe this one, if I put it over here, yeah, it actually fit. This is the number 3. You can see. Then I can put it over and press it over here, and in that way have a better grip on it. But still, we want to have the next lens element out. So this is one lens element, and let's see how good it is actually. Well, it's actually very hazy, quite dirty. So I don't know how good it will be, but or maybe it's only on the back surface. Let's see. But how good is that lens element here? We can just open it up. Well, there are some haze on it, and especially on the, yeah, I will see how good it will be. But before taking it apart, again, the lens element down here, which I was only into it, and I would recommend it set it in the mark here, in line with the other mark here. So you have or it could also be sitting down here on the edge, so you would know where they sit when they are in good place. Now, with a I need to get that lens element out, and with a tweezer with rubber ends, I can just hopefully take this out. And we have to be careful not to pressing too much on it. Hopefully we'll be fine. Yes. So now we have the bare aperture assembly. So that's fine. And now I can hopefully clean the lens surface. Everything looks fine. In this case, I will just set a mark here on the, so there will be no yeah, you will not be unsure to where it should sit. So now let's see how it is actually. Yeah, it could be better, much better. And we have to go in here. So I think I will just begin with the front, and I need a stand to put it on. I will just use this one, the short, the thinner end of the 47 millimeter, so I can just put it here. And then with some PEC-PADs or whatever you use, it depends. This is just what I can get in the shops, but I cut them to smaller size because it's more, well, you could say it's more economic in a way. And then I will use some lighter fluid. Maybe some will think, how about acetone or sensor cleaning? I would not recommend sensor cleaning in this case because it could take the black coating, the black painting on the side. So we're very light pressure. I can just clean it easy. Yeah, it's of course on the other side. Yeah, of course it is. I will just give it another go. So that should be fine. Definitely better. So I can tell there was definitely something on the front. So maybe it's not. There is something on the other side too. So, but it's more complicated to get into because it sits deeper into the. You can see it sits deeper into the lens mount here, and it's pressed into it and glued into place. So I don't know if I can do so much. Well, it's quite hazy. Yeah, I think I will go for it and do some like cleaning. And see how good it will be. So, and hopefully depends on how good it will. Oh, we can do this. Oh, wow, what a difference. What a difference. At least this is much better than it was, but I think I will give it another go. There's definitely something left in here. So just another piece of there. Here we can see on the back how it will go. Maybe it will work or not. Wow, that helps a lot. Definitely. Huge difference. I will go with that. Definitely better than it was. So I'll just pop the lens in again into the front. It's good with a tweezer with rubber ends. It will make things so much easier. And I have my mark here. And I will also go onto the mark here on the side. I think I should be able to let it just come in. Something like that. Something. Yeah. And I think it's correct. Yeah. Now, then I can take the most back lens element. Sorry. It's winter time, so people have something in their throat. Not so good. Now, some lighter fluid and see how it will go. So, yeah. It looks actually fine in a way. But you can still see there's some haze on the other side. On the inside, of course. You can see it's really hazy in a way. So I think I will give it a go. And have another piece of paper, and it's quite, no, it's not that deep actually. It's quite close to the, you can see the front in here. It's not very deep, which is good. I'll just give it a go. And put my finger in here and go around. So, yeah, not bad, but it needs another go. Definitely. So we'll just do it again. Not every time you get all the whatsoever is on the lens surface, so we have to do it again. Yeah. Wow. I think it'll be all fine, but there maybe is something on the back, but let's see. Definitely better. Just need this one. Yeah, it's just my torch that is quite dirty, but there is still something on the back here. I will just give it another go. a last go, and so we can put it back in again. So there. Yeah, definitely better, much better than it was. Let's see, there is something there. No, it's just the light. Well, it's not a new lens, but definitely less haze in here. So it can only be better than it was. So, just like so, there. Where is my mark? Somewhere. Here it is. So, put it in. And let's just see if there is any small fragments that came in. Yeah, so it will pop into place. Yeah, definitely better. Here's my torch here. Wow, what a difference. What a difference. You remember how it looks before I actually took it apart? And of course it's not a new lens. But it really helps. And since I have my mark here, I can just align the lens element into correct position and then put in the retaining ring. And by the way, if we are here, you can see this hole saw is actually fitting really good. So it's much safer than using a pointy tool, compass, whatever you use. So that's just how I like to do it. And it's quite fun to actually make those tools. I can just going a little backward to catch the actual thread. So, and hopefully it will go into place. Yeah. And before I actually tighten the retaining ring, I just check here if the lens element sits as it should. Maybe it will move a little, but let's see how good it will go. Yeah, it still sits where it should, which is fine. So I can just tighten the retaining ring and still sit where it should. So, and then I can add the light shield tube, trap tube, whatever it is, and click it into place. So there it sits. Wow, it looks really good. And since I'm here, I will just give this lens element a little treatment, so it will also look good. Just a few drops of lighter fluid and then go around. So, well, we'll just give it another go. So there. just have some. I think it's all fine for now. And then I can actually put this back into place. There's no need for have it exposed the more than should be. I'll just add this into place. And with the 44mm, so then we have this in place. And then I can just assemble the rest of it. Yeah. Where's my torch here? Definitely much more clear than it was before. It's difficult to see, yeah, but definitely there's a huge difference. So I'm happy. Now, then we go all the way back and put the focusing system into here. Aha, wait a second. Well, we need the lens hood before you put it on. I mean, before you assemble it, just to make sure. Well, if you forgot it, well, you have a lens without a lens hood. See, it's also, which is also a good thing. You're not confused when you put the lens assembly into the focusing assembly, because the tape will tell you the correct position of it. So you do not have to mess around with that. It will just go into here. So, and there we are. So I can put on the retaining ring, let it fall into place, and with my nice 38mm hole saw lens tool. I don't know what Leica did. I have no idea. But maybe they do the same. Or maybe they put the lens, I mean the light trap tube in at last. It could be. So now I can just tighten it good. Not yet fully, because I have to adjust my tape into correct position. It will say there. And if you see the other video, you might see that when it comes to adjust the aperture in relation to this the back here and the aperture ring too, you can adjust it from the front. It's not that hard. But for now, I'll just tighten the retaining ring, and since it looks really good, if we look here, the line here is actually good. So have a good grip here on the front, not the back. I can just put this on again, have my 17mm wrench, and then tighten it good. Let's see if it looks quite good actually. Yeah, out with that. Then I can add set it to 1 point, let's say maybe a meter or so. And then I can add the back here. I don't know what this assembly called, but, and if this this ring is a bit too, let's say it's too bright, too dry, you can just add some lube. It doesn't have to be much around here, or you could just do it inside here. It probably needed if installed, in my opinion. Now, then we can set this in here, and I know it's difficult to see, but the inside here has to go on the outside of the pin in here. If you add it wrong, it will not work. And do not press any at any place, and just lower it down. Yeah, there was something I have to mention. You see, if the when they cut the hole here, the thread, I actually used a let's just have it to actually file here with a flat file, and very gently, very lightly onto the side here, because there could be some metal that sticks out a little, and it would also be on this side over here, and maybe this where the little set screw is. It's a lock screw for locking this ring here. And by the way, don't even think of unscrew this if it's not necessary. There are actually very many steel balls. I would say 6 over here, 6 here, there. So maybe 30 steel balls. I haven't taken it apart because it was not necessary. So yeah, just put this in, as hopefully you can see it. It's not good. Now, maybe you can. Where's my torch? So it has to sit something like that down there. So be aware of that, and then just let it fall into place. And then we can actually move it. But this one has to sit correct, because the pin has to go over there, and the little hole here with the steel ball and the spring has to go closest to this hole here. It's just to make sure it sits correct, and make sure the pin down there is sitting correct. If not, well, it will not work as it should. So looks like it's all fine. And this pin here, of course, should be very loose. So you just check if the ring here can actually move very easy, as it should. So there. Now it's fine. Then I can actually add the steel ball and the spring, and so we are almost there. So there. So then I can add the steel ball. make sure it does not fall into the lens element. Yeah. Before we actually continue, I just forget something. Just take out the steel ball again. Of course, I need to put those two small pins on the edge of the brass ring. Just forget that. And it could actually happen for you too. So there. It's quite long, but we will make it. Tighten it gently, and this one, so there, and the other one. Going a little backward to catch the thread. So there, here we are. Then I can add the aperture ring. The pin is here, index mark is here, and just have to find the aperture numbers. And since the aperture is fully closed, has to go on to 22. Then I can turn the aperture ring and it works really good now. Yeah, sometimes forgetting something. Then I can add the load a screwdriver with one screw, and because then we will be ready to put on the mount. So there. Now the steel ball is correct in place, so I can add the mount. The lock notch is here, and this hole here will go to this screw. So I can just lower it over and make sure to not move it at all. I can just check if the aperture ring is working, and then I can add one screw here. So then we will be safe home. Not anything else is missing. And the rest of it is just easy peasy. One can of course add some if it's necessary. One can actually add some thread lock if you want the 222, but well, I think it shouldn't be necessary in this case. You've just tightened them good, so they actually sit quite good. So there. So I think it was a good cleaning, because the lens element was actually quite dirty of old haze. So this one and this screw here, and I only missed the light trap. I don't know what this is called. Maybe somebody else out there know it. But then set the lens to something like 1 meter or so. I think it will be easier. And by the way, the aperture, set it to 4, because it will make it much easier to actually put the light trap tube, because of the cutout here. I can just lower it over and press gently on this side here, on over here too, and let it just gently fall into place. Then we might have to line it up a little so the holes sits where it should. And then we can take the 2 millimeter flathead screwdriver and just add the screws. And this plastic, it was maybe good back then. I haven't tightened it yet, I know. Just to do this here and this one. But they all have this problem when they get older. So there. And the last screw. And so there, it's fine. I'll just gently tighten this one and this one. So now we are back. Oh wow, it looks so much better than it was. And the aperture is also fine. If we look here, if the aperture was not correct, it would be something in between, maybe out there, so you could see the blades. But since I have my tape here, I know exactly the position of how it should be. So, well, it definitely much more clear. I'm happy. So that was actually all for me in this case. So hope you enjoy the content and can use the info about this lens. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.